Durkheim was one of the founding figures of social science and the creator, in France, of sociology as an academic discipline. Emile Durkheim was born on April 15, 1858, Épinal, France. Died November 15, 1917, Paris. Was a French social scientist who developed a vigorous methodology combining empirical research with sociological theory. He is widely regarded as the founder of the French School of Sociology. Durkheim was born into a Jewish family of very modest means, and it was taken for granted that he would become a rabbi, like his father. However, broke with tradition and went to École Normale Supérieure in 1879, where he studied philosophy. In 1902, Durkheim was finally given a promotion in the form of the chair of the science of education at the Sorbonne. In 1906, he became a full professor, and in 1913, his position was changed to formally include sociology. Durkheim introduced the concept of anomie, the idea that the individual can suffer from having too much freedom, from being too little regulated by social institutions. According to Durkheim, suicide is not a personal act. It is caused by a power beyond the individual or the super-individual. He believed that we know the consequences of all kinds of deaths, either directly or indirectly, resulting from the victim's own positive or negative behavior. Durkheim emphasized that the power to drive suicide is social rather than psychological. He concluded that suicide results from social turmoil or lack of social integration or social solidarity. The growth of individualism is a result of the growing division of labor, according to Emile Durkheim, and this individualism can only develop at the expense of the common values, morality, beliefs, and normative rules of society, the attitudes and beliefs that are held by all. With the slackening of these rules and values, we also lose our sense of community or identity with a group. The social bond is thereby weakened, and social values and beliefs no longer provide us with clear or insistent moral guidance. The more affluent nations seem to have higher suicide rates. All the supposed benefits of capitalism cause unhappiness due to higher expectations, greater desires, individualism, and lack of spirituality. Therefore, Durkheim suggested in his functionalism theory that society should remain connected and regulated because the whole mechanism cannot function without coordinating individual elements. He described 5 factors that led to the rise of suicide in modern capitalistic societies. Firstly, people became detached from a traditional clan that gives one emotional or physical assistance in times of hardship. Therefore, social solidarity is essential to ensure cooperation, to show people that their work and existence are valuable for the functioning of society. Secondly, capitalism is a system with excessive hope, giving people limitless opportunities for success, but blaming them for failure. Thirdly, in a capitalistic society, an individual seems to have excessive freedom, hence, one may feel lost by the inability to decide what to do. Fourthly, Durkheim believed that society requires religion as a binding force, since scientific progress was incapable of uniting people in a spiritual sense. Lastly, capitalism erased the feeling of connection with families, putting enormous pressure on a person who may lose meaning and purpose to live despite career success. The starting consideration is that life is generally good since most people prefer it over death. For human beings who individually aspire to well-being and happiness, to prefer life and not death, 2 conditions are necessary. The first is that moments of happiness prevail over moments of unhappiness. The only experimental fact proving that life is generally good is that the great mass of men prefer it to death. To be so, in the average life, happiness must prevail over unhappiness. If the relations were reversed, neither the attachment of men to life nor its continuance, jostled by the facts at each moment, could be understood. The second condition is that in times of unhappiness, through hope, one can perceive and feel that the future can change for the better. However, this condition does not apply to everyone. The presence or absence of this feeling varies greatly depending on the category of people to which one belongs. In fact, Durkheim no longer distinguishes different social classes but limits himself to two types of human beings: pessimists and optimists. Pessimists do not believe in hope. To them, it represents only an illusion. If people continue to hope for future improvement when things go wrong, it is because they mistakenly believe in hope. Pessimists, it is true, explain the persistence of this phenomenon by the illusion of hope. According to them, if, despite deceptions of experience, we hold on to life, it is because we are wrongly hoping that the future will make up for the past. Optimists nurture this constructive feeling, which explains their great love of life and their ability to endure life's most difficult moments. Durkheim then delves deeper into this feeling and asks how it arises, how it is formed, and, most importantly, why it does not disappear in the light of the misfortunes to which men may fall victim. He states that hope, it has not miraculously descended from heaven into hearts, but it has had to be formed, like all sentiments, within the action of the facts. If, then, men have learned to hope, if, under a blow of misfortune, they have acquired the habit of turning their eyes toward the future, and of awaiting compensations for their present sufferings, it is because they see that these compensations are frequent, that the human organism is at once supple and too resistant to be easily beaten into despondency, that the moments won by misfortune were exceptional, and that, generally, the balance ended by returning to its former state. Consequently, whatever may be the part of hope in the genesis of the instinct of conservation, the latter is a piercing witness of the relative bounty of life. Hope, Durkheim tells us, is not something that comes from nowhere or that rains down from the sky, but is a feeling that is built up slowly, as indeed are all feelings, which we learn over time during the course of our lives, within the scope of the action of social facts.